Hello, and welcome to Dolphin's Dive, the weekly strategically minded Handelabra stream hosted by Logic Dolphin. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively work against those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. You can follow us at Handelabra Games on Twitch and Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can follow me personally at Logic Dolphin at Twitch, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, pretty much any avenue. Sentinels, the Multiverse, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, Aeon's End, and Spirit Island are all available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices, and One Deck Dungeon is also available on Switch. And you can find more information on those games at handelabra.com. We are here today to play some Sentinels. I have no agenda today like last week. Just hit the one-shot button. Ultimate crossover event of the Satcher! Was this the one I was supposed to be playing and then I vetoed it? Or was it this one? It was probably this one. Actually, no, last week I did Spirit Island, didn't I? Yeah, makes sense. So we're playing Sentinels instead. I thought I played Sentinels last time, it's fine. Let's go to the bottom of the list and just work our way up this time. That way I'm not worried about spoiling anything or being spoiled by anyone. You'll just have to, you know, go down memory lane and think about Toccata and Fugue in D minor. For some reason, it's been quiet around Rook City the past week. Maybe all those criminals have turned over a new leaf, Setback thought to himself. He whistled cheerfully as he strolled by the old industrial complex. Turning a corner, he bumped right into a guy with glowing green eyes and a sweet cape. "Whoops, sorry!" Pete exclaimed. The archadept got to his feet, unperturbed. "It is fortunate we met, my tuneless friend. A great danger approaches. You must summon your compatriots at once. This one-shot requires Rook City, Infernal Relics, and Vengeance." Yeah, okay. Standard Vengeance game. Against Fright Train, Friction, Airman, Baron Blade, Proletariat. Versus Darkwatch Mr. Fixer, Darkwatch Setback, Darkwatch Night Mist, Darkwatch Expatriate, and Prime Warden's Argent Adept. I wonder if this was before or after Villains was released. This obviously doesn't have any villains. Is there any way to tell that Villains has been released or when Villains was released? I guess you could see the dates. Back issue ended June 6th, 2017. When the hell did Villains come out, though? Nobody knows. It's impossible to know. Unless you go to, like, Handelabra.com or something. Or look at DLC dates or something. Who knows? Alright, let's go. All aboard! The freight trains are coming! So much anger! If I cannot rest, then I shall fight! Cool. Alright. Watch Mr. Fixer has a charge, dual crowbars, a harmony, and a toolbox. Darkwatch Setback has a cash out, a cause and effect, a looking up, and uncharmed life. Darkwatch Night Mist has 2 heedless lashes, a mistbound, and a mists of time. Darkwatch Expatriate has a quick draw, an RPG launcher, a shock rounds, and a submachine gun. And Prime Warden's Argent Depth has arcane cadence, inspiring supertonic, inventive preparation, and syncopated onslaught. True, this is actually Pike Industrial Complex. The description said, like, Rook City's been quiet these days, but it's actually Pike Industrial Complex. It probably alluded to that, like, Pete Risk was walking through the Pike Industrial Complex. But, you know, you do expect me to actually pay attention to what I'm reading. So, someone's gonna say, like, oh, look, it's Argent Adept over here. So I guess I should probably just, like, lean into that. Hi, I'm Argent Adept. Really hard to, like, get this coordinated. Sure, I'll just plant myself over here. I'll take a look and see what it looks like once we're in a different pane. All right, so what happens here? Fright Train gets Engine of Destruction put into play, which Engine of Destruction increase damage dealt by a Fright Train by 1, increase the first damage dealt to Fright Train each turn by 1. Generally an easy first target, especially on advanced where damage is redirected to him anyway. At the end of Fright Train's turn, Fright Train deals the hero target with the highest HP 3 melee damage plus 1. Airman. Or, sorry, Friction. Shock dampeners and stolen gear are put into play. So Shock dampeners. Friction is immune to lightning damage. Stolen gear. At the end of Friction's turn, play the top card of Friction's deck. And the lightning immunity means that she doesn't deal herself damage with her effects, because that's what she tends to do. One-shots tend to say Friction deals herself 1 lightning damage. At the end of Friction's turn, Friction deals the hero target with the highest HP 1 melee damage. Cool. And we have Airman. Constant Prattle is put into play. At the end of Airman's turn, discard the top card of each deck. At the end of Airman's turn, the top card of Airman's villain deck is revealed. If it is a one-shot, it is put into play. If not, it is discarded, and Airman deals the hero target with the second lowest HP 2 melee damage. Cool. So, yeah, so it's either damage or a one-shot that gets laid. Baron Blade. Genetically fused physique is put into play. Cards are revealed on top of the villain deck until a device is revealed and put into play. Other revealed cards are shuffled back into the villain deck. So genetically fused physique says reduce damage dealt to Baron Blade by 1. At the end of Baron Blade's turn, Baron Blade regains 2 HP. Are you paying attention here? Do you know all the rules of Sentinels? At the end of Baron Blade's villain turn, Baron Blade deals the hero target with the lowest HP and himself 2 melee damage, except he has a damage reduction to himself innately with this, and he regains HP, so it counters itself. Things we would like to remove, theoretically. Proletariat. 2 cards named Proletariat are put into play. Let me click it. Proletariat. At the start of Proletariat's turn, the Proletariat character card deals itself 1 psychic damage. At the end of Proletariat's turn, this card deals the hero target with the highest HP 2 melee damage. Relieving the amount makes him deal himself psychic damage. Whenever this card will be dealt non-psychic damage, redirect that damage to the clone card with the lowest HP. At the end of Proletariat's turn, this card deals the hero target with the highest HP 2 melee damage. So bits and bloops, but there's 5 villains per turn versus 5 heroes per turn. Leading with Fixer, so if we want to use his innate power, we're going to have to destroy one of his things. But such is the way it goes sometimes. Don't really seem to have much AoE. We do have the submachine gun, but it's not, the strongest thing ever. We could do it twice using Inspiring Supertonic, except this is Prime Warden's Ardent Adept that puts the bottom card of his deck into play and activates an accompany text. So even using Inspiring Supertonic isn't going to do what we want it to do. But we do have Arcane Cadence that allows us to set up the bottom card of his deck in advance. All right, all aboard. As promised, the Engine of Destruction, the Shock Dampeners, the Stolen Gear, Constant Prattle, Genetically Fused Physique. We also get the Omni Blade as the random target, and 2 Proletariats. And Fright Train's card play is Last Stop. And so let's take a pause and see. So Omni Blade, at the end of Baron Blade's turn, this card deals the hero target with the highest HP 2 melee damage. Omnitron X is not active in this game. And the one-shot Last Stop, reveal the top card of the environment deck. If that card has HP, which it did not, then blah, then discard that environment card. So it revealed the super cool Trisolvent Vat, which did nothing. Was considered to have the highest HP. Setback, of course. Oops, sorry. All right. So what do we want to do here? We could play the toolbox and use the base power to destroy the toolbox, but also deal 3 damage. We could also play dual crowbars and not use the power, or we could use the power, but I would like to keep the dual crowbars. Airman does have a tendency of destroying stuff, though, doesn't she? Generally, the priority would be like Airman. Discard the top 2 cards of each hero deck. Doesn't really do much except it screws up Night Mist, doesn't it? But she already screws it up with Constant Prattle. Friction is generally the one I would like to take out least, just because her incapability destroys stuff. Freight train's usually the first priority. Be kind of cool to set that to Fixer. Fixer deals himself 2 toxic, except it deals itself the damage to all non-hero targets, which would be exciting. Iron Blade's in cap. Each hero target deals itself damage. Proletariat's in cap. Shuffle the hero trash with the most cards into its associated deck, so it's pretty lackluster. But Airman is quite annoying and is going to screw with Night Mist a lot, let alone everyone. So it's annoying with like vengeance games because there's so many targets and it's so overwhelming, but like you should never go against Omniblade because 15 HP is a lot relative to, you know, the fact that Baron Blade is 32. Like if you deal enough damage to kill Omniblade, you also could have taken out half of Baron Blade's HP and made progress towards victory. The Proletariats, you kind of have to hit them to take out the main Proletariat, but we also could ignore them for the time being. They do deal ourselves damage, but it also deals Proletariat damage. Taking out the shock dampeners does mean Friction hits herself, but at the same time, doesn't hit herself for much, does she? 3 lightning damage, I guess. 2 lightning damage, maybe it is more than that. 1 lightning damage, 2 lightning damage, 2 lightning damage, 1 lightning damage. So sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3. But doing 9 damage to shock dampeners is 9 damage we're not doing to friction, assuming that it's a single hit of damage, like using this base power for 3, for instance. Also, this is the villain turn, so where am I situated right now? It's really not a spot that makes sense. I'll put myself here. It does block Baron Blade and Proletariat, but you do see the villain play area, and you do see the number of cards in each deck, and you see, more importantly, the hit point totals. So that works fine for me. And I think that was about where it was anyway, like, other than, like, yeah, it was blocking Argent Adept, but we moved it to look like Argent Adept, which doesn't really matter. The only other view you have to consider is then the environment turn. Yeah, so the question is, who do we hit for 3? Using crowbars to hit Fright Train will give you a 2nd damage boost on the 2nd crowbar hit. Yep. So we do 5 to Fright Train and then 6 to someone else. But I kind of want to leave the crowbars in play, which means I need to put something else out that could be destroyed for the crowbars later, or otherwise have someone else play something that Fixer could eat. I think the submachine gun is actually pretty good here. You don't have to use it right away. We could play it and then aim. We don't want Fixer to eat it as the result. Night Mist has nothing. Setback has Uncharmed Life. What's probably going to be best is to play Toolbox and then not use a power here, but this just returns to my hand, doesn't it? Potentially Argent Adept does something that Fixer can eat. I'm afraid to put out dual crowbars just because Friction and Airman do have the potential for destroying stuff. I guess actually Friction just destroys ongoing cards. Yeah, okay. So equipments are a bit safer there, but but Airman does do crap. That's another ongoing thing. That's an equipment thing. That's an ongoing and equipment thing. Yeah. So there's no real way of preserving the dual crowbars other than playing Harmony. And Harmony gets destroyed, well then, nothing really happened there. Alternatively, this allows for card play, right? So we could have Argent Adept play Inventive Preparation and activates its accompany text to let Fixer play dual crowbars. So that way we can play Toolbox now, dual crowbars on Fixer's on Arch and Depth's turn. On Fixer's turn, we can play Toolbox and destroy Toolbox and keep the dual crowbars. It's not likely. It's not likely, if not impossible, for Fright Train to destroy stuff, right? He just mainly deals damage. So I think I'll play Toolbox now. Hey, Jackhandle. That's a really nice one. Maybe even nicer than dual crowbars. AoE and Vengeance is really big, and 3 damage AoE is so big. There are no surge cards in your trash. There is a surge card in your trash. Hey, Fixer. Alright, so we can now use Looking Up. We don't have to sacrifice an Uncharmed Life here. Base powered setback is so annoying. Its effect will just be used up on Airman's turn. Alright, so let's just like beat up Airman before Airman screws up things. Cause and effect seems pretty good. We already had that in our head, didn't we? Destroy an environment card. Tantrum! Yeah, so Skyscraper is not active in this game, so Tantrum doesn't do anything. Just destroys environment cards, which... like... okay. These cards could totally be destroyed all day, I don't care. I don't care. So if player must put a card from hand on top of the deck, this is during the end of turn, so we've already progressed. Or no, we haven't yet. We're at the end of turn here, we're not at the end of turn here, so we are going to discard the top card of each deck, and this is, we're basically discarding a card is what this is doing. This puts all equipment cards from each hero's trash into their hands. So we could discard an equipment for this. I don't know that I want to ditch dual crowbars though. We could just ditch shock rounds. Actually, shock rounds would be so good next turn if we have the +1. Because we have submachine gun dealing 1+1 damage, followed by shock rounds dealing 1+1 damage. So maybe we don't just prioritize equipments here. What's something we're less likely to use? Quick draw. Night Mist cards are basically fodder for for Amulet of the Elder Gods. We don't have that yet though. Mist of Time is kind of the worst. But it has a 4 on it. 4s are strong. We're gonna use Cash Out. Let's say no. It's a lot of discards. So Fixer discarded Meditation, Setback discarded the Cash Out that we put on top, of course. Expatriate discarded an RPG launcher. Arch and Adept discarded an Instrumental Conjuration. And Night Mist discarded a Master of Magic. So in an alternate universe, we could have had someone else put a card on top of their deck, and we could have then therefore drawn that card that we discarded on our turn. Not the card that we put on top, but like in another universe, Night Mist could have put a card on top and then drawn Master of Magic this turn, for instance. So this is the divergence point for everyone's playthroughs of this one-shot from May 2017. This is the moment where what you decided there determines whether this is the easiest one-shot ever or the brutalist one-shot ever. And speaking of brutalist one-shots ever, hey John, welcome. Thank you for setting up this one-shot that's so terrible. I have yet to win yet. I also have yet to lose yet. So take from that what you will. So we have heedless lashes. Ordinarily, you would want to wait on those until you've set up Night Mist's deck, but Airman is Airman. Airman's going to keep discarded top card of each deck and possibly also screwing with Airman's so much. With that Night Mist so much. Such as cards that say move something. Well, that doesn't affect her. One player must. I don't know. But Constant Prattle does make this annoying. We can still sort of control it. Top 3 cards, we draw the top one. Second one gets discarded by Airman, so the third one's the one that could be Heedless Lash did. The night is young. You've been here. Just have it on the TV. Hello, John's household. Hello, John's partner. Hello, John's couch. Is the chair nearby? We need to praise the chair. We need to ask the chair what John's chair would do here. Definitely not Mist of Time. Mistbound is not really strong in this game. Unless we think that Baron Blade is about to play the each villain plays a card or increase damage dealt by villain targets by 1 card, which are terrible cards. I guess the benefit of Heedless Lash, even if it's random though, is that the card either goes into play or to my hand. And I don't want to just give an off turn here. That's slow and lame. Let's do random. Mistbound with a 4. Now, if I were to play Mistbound, I'd be discarding 2 cards. It's probably fine to just put that in hand. Because, like, otherwise I would be discarding a Mistbound from my hand. Because I'm not losing the other Heedless Lash. Top 3 cards in my deck. Commander Banishment, Master of Magic, Oblivion. Hey, there's a Master of Magic there. I think we want the Oblivion. We could Heedless Lash the Oblivion. Master of Magic would also be nice. All these are really nice. There are a number of ongoings in play right now that we want to get rid of someday. Expatriate has an RPG launcher. Setback has 2 causes and effects. That's our only ongoing destruction we have right now. I mean, we don't necessarily need to get rid of them. Getting rid of Genetically Fused Physique means we can beat up Baron Blade more easily. Getting rid of Engine of Destruction means we can't beat up Freight Train as easily. And getting rid of Constant Prattle means we could stop discarding the top card of each deck. Which does. The internet says lots of mints and near mints, some complaints, but not a total bitch fest. Well, that's because everyone followed the YouTube video from that one person that told them exactly what cards to play in what order. Kind of like going ham with Oblivion. We have no idea what numbers it will reveal, though. Because it has to be the 3rd card from the top. Because Airman will discard the 2nd card from the top. What's the worst that can happen? I die? Let's just leave them in the order they're in. Master Magic can get discarded. This Night Mist doesn't seem to be able to sustain herself that well. Chance at Vengeance gives us Major Flay. Iron Blade hits himself and then heals himself. Omni Blade hits Expatriate. So Major Flay was over here? Yeah. At the end of Freight Train's turn, discard deals the hero target with the highest HP 2 lightning damage. Visionary is not active in this game. That would be a terrible effect, though. Pretty terrible. Let's go ahead and get this set up. Got an assault rifle now. Proletariat has hit himself for 2 damage. Making maneuvers. Whenever the Proletariat character card deals damage to a hero target, the clone card with the lowest HP deals the hero target with the highest HP 1 melee damage. Sounds really convoluted. Let's leave Fixer higher. for no real reason. Alright, so our plan here was inventive preparation. Let's see what this card is. It's Vernal Sonata. Hey, this screws up night. Well, it doesn't have to screw up Night Mist. Each player may. Do you want that meditation fixer? You probably do. You'd really like to have that ongoing to go with your equipment in harmony someday. You don't care about that cash out, I'm pretty sure. So this card is what's going to be discarded by Airman, because Airman's going to have the constant prattle most likely. So we do have the setup for Master of Magic to currently be discarded and Oblivion below it, so we don't want to move this card up. And Expatriate is not going to see this card either. There's no one else who's going to allow for a draw, right? So I'm going to skip that as well. Argent Adept can take this card, though, because he will draw. Instrumental Conjuration is good. And Fixer can play. Ooh. Jackhandle, and then he plays Charge on his turn. That seems really good. Dealing 5 damage to all villain targets on Fixer's turn. It's only like 1,000,000 damage. I haven't done the math, but I'm pretty sure it's about 1,000,000 damage. Okay, well now it's 1,000,000 minus 2 damage. This mode? Convoluted? Also, hi, Zipel. Hope you're doing well. So we got the Mangrove. At the end of Fright Train's turn, this card deals each hero target 1 melee damage. Then if Night Mist is active in this game, this card regains 1 HP. And guess what? None of those things will happen except you will damage Night Mist because Nemesis. But the -1 screws that up. All right. What was our plan for destruction, by the way? Were we going to destroy something? All right, we're going to play Toolbox. Right, that was our thought. Was you're going to play Toolbox and then destroy Toolbox. I was thinking Charge for some reason, but we don't want to destroy any of these others right now. Like Inventive Preparation and Argent Adept is really good because it gets Fixer set up and also provides for things for Fixer to eat. Looking up is setback's power. Like, a setback without looking up is not the real setback. Submachine Gun is going to deal a lot of damage with the +1. The unfortunate thing is the -2, or the -1. This is currently set to be destroyed by Tantrum, at least. We don't have to leave it out. I normally love the Biomimetic Plasma Vat. Biomimetic? I've never actually learned how this word is supposed to be pronounced, but it says meme, so therefore it's biomemes. And I kind of like it just because generally heroes benefit from it more, and especially in Vengeance, like there's so much ping damage, and this just prevents the pings. But yeah, like it just prevented the Mangrove's pings. But I'm also okay getting rid of it just so that we can deal more damage. And it's going to be gotten rid of unless we can kill Tantrum, which theoretically possible if we did charge Jackhandle and looking up, but I'm fine with it going away too. Yeah, so we did put the style on top, the meditation, right? Yeah. So if I toolbox, then I draw it, of course, and it also draws another card, and I get my draw phase. So if I were to have Argent at play, have One player other than you may play a card. So it's actually Fixer playing the card, fun fact. The actor matters. Fixer cannot play cards. However, Arch in Depth can play Fixer cards. That actually really matters in Oblivion. But if we have Fixer play Toolbox now, you could destroy it. And then Arch in Depth could have Fixer play Meditation, and then Fixer could play Toolbox. Or, not Toolbox, Harmony. And now all of a sudden, this Jack Handle does 3+1 damage. Potentially another +1, potentially irreducible, potentially damage dealt to those targets as irreducible. Shit, that actually would make the biomimetic. This is now the plasma vat, by the way. Still haven't figured out how its real pronunciation is. Like, I don't even know if that's a real word, is it? Is it a comic book word or is it a real word? Let's see. Biomimetic. Is it misspelled?
Biomimetic.
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 But yeah, the search results I'm getting says it's M-I-M and not M-E-M. Biomimetic. 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 Anyway. Do I want to bother dealing 2 damage this turn? 2 damage is a lot of damage. You can use the toolbox, right? Hey, Bloody Knuckles. That can also be destroyed on a later turn. Does order matter? It would matter if the clones were not tied. But nothing else matters? Pretty sure. Christopher couldn't resist the memes. Just bear in mind that Christopher is not a meme. However, Christopher is not a meme is a meme. Oh no! Friction says, destroy ongoing cards. Oh no! That's bad. There are 3 searches in the trash. Things are not looking up after all. This choice does not matter, fun fact. This choice does matter. I will say the girlfriend gets hit. You destroy 1 thing and then deal damage equal to tokens in your unlucky pool. You want to get rid of genetically fused physique? You want to play Uncharmed Life? I guess actually, yeah. You can do that and have Fixer destroy it. And then we'll reduce the next damage dealt to a hero target by 2 at the cost of a token. Might not be worth it, but... Subtle diversion, uh-oh. Maybe hit her, uh-oh. Well, we're not getting rid of the other things. So it's good that we played that ongoing. Hey, setback protected expatriate. The biomimetic plasma vat was destroyed. Alright, the Fixer discarded Pie Branch for kids. Setback discarded the Uncharmed Life that he put there. Amos discarded the Master of Magic as promised. Expatriate discarded a submachine gun. Archonette discarded the instrumental conjuration. Another one, right, because he drew the one he put there. All right, Heedless Slash into Oblivion and 2 Fun Times. We do have a subtle diversion there, which is rude. We do Planar Banishment instead. Planar Banishment's gonna do the Oblivion number, and it gets rid of Oblivion. I don't remember what number it was. I think it was a 2. So I'm gonna do this. So if I hit Airman, this redirects to Setback, but then the next 2 Oblivion hits go through. That's probably worth. They were all 2. All of them 2s. 2 and 3. So the first one is dealt to each non-hero target. And here's where the order would matter. We want to hit the Proletariat with 4 first. And then the Proletariat with 2, and then Proletariat redirects the Proletariat that's still alive, and then, yeah, that uses up the damage most effectively. Otherwise, we'd redirect to the one with 2, who dies, and then the one with 4 takes 2, and then after that round of damage, there will still be a Proletariat clone alive. So that order matters. And also still matters there, because we have to make sure we put this one first before we choose the wrong Proletariat to take damage from the redirect. That's done. Any other things that matter? I hazard to say no. I think we're actually getting rid of shock dampeners and stolen gear, which is nice. Friction is going to be equipmentless. Weirdly, they all look alike, right? Fight tantrum. So Constant Prattle will still be in play unless we were to use RPG Launcher for some reason. Which means that we have the same dilemma where the card that's second from the top is going to get discarded. Unless we use Cause and Effect next turn, which is probably okay. We would probably rather get rid of Genetically Fused Physique. Because the discard top card is, like, less bad. Hey, it's another Oblivion. We can't play that one off of, sorry, we can't do the Heedless Lash thing, so I'd have to draw the Oblivion and then discard the 3 and put the 4 on top, so we do 4 damage to everyone. So again, we just leave our deck untouched. Play the top card of each villain deck in turn order. Uh-oh. Rebuilt to survive. Unhealthy speed. Sure, let's have extra cards. Why not? Unfortunately, shock dampeners have not been destroyed yet. That's really rude. Another subtle diversion. Two subtle diversions. That's rude. So this Rebuilt to survive, whenever 5 or more damage will be dealt to Fright Train, reduce that damage by 2. At the end of Fright Train's turn, Fright Train regains 1 HP, and it's featuring Fright Train and Boxers, or not even Boxers, Briefs. And then Speedy Sidestep, if you're dealt 5 or more damage, prevent it, so another 5 damage thing. Watch out, Fixer, you can't do all your big damage hits. A Subtle Diversion or 2 are in play right now. And then we have this card, and it's only 1 Proletariat, so it's just 1 hit. Yeah, so Expatriate does have a +1. The annoying thing is that we can't actually hit airmen with this. The 2 damages are going to redirect. But it's still going to be good damage, and it gets rid of shock dampeners. And the order is super important here, because shock rounds, after that card's power is used to damage a target, then you deal lightning damage. So we have to hit the shock dampeners first. And then with the shock rounds, we hit the shock dampeners. And now the lightning damage does hit friction. Any other order, and friction does not get dealt damage here. Oh no, subtle diversion. Oh no, subtle diversion. I don't think Expatriate would shoot setback. It does not seem very girlfriend-like. Tactical shotgun. Proletariat takes out Hermetic. The Hermetic? At the end of Proletariat's turn, each hero target deals itself 1 infernal damage. Then if the Scholar is active in this game, each hero character card deals itself 1 toxic damage. But wait, Jackhandle! Aha! And redirects it. Rude. Yeah. So the companies here regain 2 HP or deal 1 damage. Seems a bit meh, so we should probably use Arcane Cadence to control what this is. Hopefully we get another thing. We didn't get the thing yet. By the thing, I mean Inventive Preparation, and I think there's only 1 other copy of it, so it's not too likely to find it. We did get another Arcane Cadence, which is always fun. Do I play the Arcane Cadence, or do I play something else and put Arcane Cadence on the bottom? I could see Counterpoint Bulwark as a play be okay, but I could also just put whatever card here on the bottom and then... But then the other Arcane Cadence screws it up, doesn't it? It's top 5 cards of the deck, so I would want to put 1 on top, and then that would be revealed by the next Arcane Cadence. Just wondering whether it's better to play the company that we do have versus fishing for what might not be in a company. I mean, there aren't that many companies. Syncopated Onslaught is 1 damage. Inventive Preparation we're looking for. Inspiring Supertonic is 2 HP, and then Counterpoint Bulwark is card draw, and Sadistic Dissonant is draw 2, discard 2, draw 3. So I think I'll just put Arcane Cadence on the bottom, Counterpoint into play, Conjuration into hand. I guess the Arcane Cadence on the bottom is going to reveal 1 of the cards on top, though. Maybe I put Conjuration on top, but I would probably want to, like, play something else, though, is the thing. Drake's Pipes in the trash, because you can always conjure it. I mean, if I get the instrument in play, I can't use it this turn anyway, so it's Conjuration in hand. Scherzo on top. Arcane bottom. Pipes, trash, Bulwark play. Oh my gosh, it's an arcane cadence. So weird. I guess there's also Alacrita Subdominant. You may use the power if you do destroy this card. Hey, and that could have done an instrument. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, so Silver Shadow is here. But Silver Shadow on counterpoint's not as fun. We should absolutely trash Vernal Sonata. I think I did that once because I considered that to be the optimal play, and then I think John got mad at me because I trashed Vernal Sonata. While Vernal Sonata is not a card you can take from a trash and put into your deck, it might not be the best card to play in all situations because it's a terminal card. And I might want to do other setup things. But no, it is a good card. I'm not denying that. Again, the Vernal Sonata here, since we still have the Constant Prattle in play, is going to result in the discard of Night Mist, discard of Expatriate. So it's only benefiting Fixer, Setback, and Argent Adept, which getting Looking Up back on top might be okay. Pipe Wrench and Toolbox can be obtained with Salvage Yard later. So you would like to draw to an Overdrive someday instead. Oh, and I can put Vernal Sonata on top. Oh my gosh, this is such an infinite. How about Arcane Cadence on top? And we can do Arcane Cadence again next turn to dig for things better. Means I don't draw whatever this card is I'm putting on top. It will just get discarded by Airman later. If I play Alacrita Subdominant, I do have a conjuration to get, you know, the harp or the Lyra into play to activate its perform, and its perform is card play, which is sort of what I was trying to get anyway. So if I don't play Vernal Sonata, then I would be playing Alacrita Subdominant, putting Vernal Sonata in hand, Silver Shadow on top to draw it, or in the trash, Scherzo on the bottom. I think that's fine. It doesn't really matter the order of hand and top because it's going to be drawn anyway. Man, if only I played Vernal Sonata, I could have drawn the card that I put on top. We do know what is on top of Argent Adept right now. Do we? No, I think it got... Yeah, it was... No, it was changed with Arcane Cadence, so it's... What's on top right now is what we're already drawing. It's the thing. It's the thing. You know the thing. You know what thing I'm talking about, right? Silver Shadow, I think, yeah. But it does give us another card play. Which... I mean, I guess the major problem is if I'm doing Instant Conjuration for, like, the Lyra. Lyra's in the deck right now. It'll reshuffle, and I don't have the Arcane Cadence that's on the bottom. It's probably okay. Playing Arcane Cadence on the bottom is a bit lame, isn't it? Because, well, I guess it still gets a card into play. Never mind. It doesn't set up for the power, but it does control basically what you would play. Dexter has Meditation. That was his next play, and he has Harmony, so he's okay for a bit. I would like him to play more, but we can't exactly control that. Setback has a cause and effect and a karmic retribution. But I guess we were intending on doing someday. If not now, because subtle diversions are terrible. I mean, obviously we can't play it, but... I missed we have set up her deck for the Oblivion to reveal a force, so we don't give the draw to you. Expatriate could just use the RPG launcher, I would say. I think I give the draw to Argent Adept. On the other hand, you do have 2 causes and effects, so you do have like ongoing destruction you can do for your next 2 turns. You just don't have your looking up anymore, which is sad. But you're not the principal damage dealer of the fight anyway. Akpunku's Drum. Experimental mutagen. Oh no. Off the rails. There are no hero targets in play with 2 or fewer. Thank frickin' gosh. Do we have stuff for you to destroy, by the way? I guess we can destroy Counterpoint Bulwark now. So what effect do we want from you? I guess the problem is subtle diversion redirects from Airman, so Airman doesn't get this effect, but it does create chaos on the hero side. So if I like make damage dealt to those targets is irreducible until the start of Fixer's turn, that will then redirect to someone that would then take full damage without any minuses. Not that there are any, but so what are the options here? Damage dealt by Fixer is just irreducible flat out. Being dealt 2 or less damage would redirect. Increased damage dealt by Fixer. After Fixer damages a target, all damage dealt by that target is irreducible. Or dealt to that target is irreducible. So, like, making damage dealt to Baron Blade irreducible negates the genetically fused physique. But we're not prioritizing Baron Blade right now. If I increase damage dealt by Fixer by 1, it does mean that the rebuild to survive would go off because the first damage to Fright Train is increased by 1 due to Engine of Destruction. This is 3 damage, plus 1, potentially plus 1. That would be 5, so it'd be reduced by 2. So the plus 1 doesn't seem correct. I honestly don't know. 2 damage would just redirect very easily, right? Lots of instances of 2 damage that we can redirect. Hero damage that tries to go to Airman and redirects to Fixer if he's highest would then redirect. That's probably the better one. Generally, it's not as good if you don't have Pipe Wrench in play, but I feel like if nothing is really going to be that effective, then we should just do Driving Mantis. Order does not matter. Grease Monkey Fist. Argentium. Deals the hero target with the second lowest. No, it redirects. Womp womp. Well, Airman just redirects. I guess this goes to Freight Train because of +1. So we already got a benefit from driving Mantis. Yay. Let's get rid of these frickin' subtle diversions. They're not very subtle at all. Bumbling fool. We hit her. Now things start getting awkward. Second lowest. It's Argent Adept. Yeah, Airman, stop screwing up our setup here. Want Jack Handle to stay in play. Submachine Gun I would like to keep in play. I guess it's not as important as Jack Handle. You do have guns that you can get out instead. It was good for like that one turn we had submachine gun and lightning rounds, but we don't have the +1 right now, and we don't have lightning rounds coming back into play. So it's just doing 1 damage to everyone versus 4 damage to everyone. I want to keep that Electroda subdominant so that we can get fixer card plays. I guess a submachine gun. One player must put a card from hand on top of their deck. This actually means that we can change what Constant Prattle discards. For Expatriate, I mean, we could preserve the submachine gun if we're really that desperate to keep it. Like, we could do RPG Launcher to destroy the last Constant Prattle and then draw the draw the submachine gun back. You don't have a gun in play, so you'd activate aim, but then when you play submachine gun next turn or any other power, it deals +1 damage, which seems fine. We're not going to ever quick draw, are we? Aha! So Fixer discarded an Overdrive. Hey! Salvage Yard now puts an Overdrive into play. Set back discarded a Friendly Fire. Night Mist discarded a Star Shield Necklace as promised. Expatriate discarded a Quick Draw as promised. And Argent Adept discarded a Vernal Sonata. So John's mad now. We revealed a 2 and a 4. Alright, there's only one thingy in play. Only one subtle diversion in play, which is good. Does that actually redirect to Fixer? It can. We hit Expatriate first. So now this should redirect to Fixer. Yes. And then Fixer redirects it from him, although I guess this was also his own damage he was redirecting, so maybe it's not as beneficial as we thought, but oh well. Does the order matter then at that point? I mean, it still might as well hit Airman, so it does go to Fixer. And then we can actually hit Airman with it. Yay! Remember when I said that destroying Omniblade is pointless because he could have just dealt 16 damage to the Baron Blade? Turns out with AoE, it doesn't matter who you hit. Weird. Alright, so Airman might be going down. But the thing about Airman's in-cap is discard the top 2 cards of each hero deck, so this power becomes a lot less good. But under the assumption that Airman isn't going down, it's still interesting to consider. So we do have a 4 in hand, so we could call forth and get 4 relics that way. Astral Premonition is a crap card. It's actually kind of weird. Why is it a crap card? Why do I consider this to be a crap card? Because Night Mist needs cards more? Like, basically this is Wraith's Infrared Eyepiece, except it targets any deck. But with Infrared Eyepiece, you know, it only targets the villain deck. But with this effect, except you draw a card instead of discarding a card. And for some reason with Night Mist, it's like, I hate this card. Because you have to discard a card to do it, which is fair, because it's a very strong effect. Yeah, with Night Mist, I'm like, I want those cards. I need those cards for Starship, for Amulet of the Elder Gods. So why do I consider this to be a bad card? I don't know. It's situationally good. But I also want Night Mist to be more offensive than that, I guess. Let's leave the 4 on top, I guess. Or let's draw the 2, leave the 4 in the deck. It's probably gonna get discarded, but... or shuffled anyway, but leaving it in the deck seems better. So I'm actually not leaving the deck in order. I'm actually rearranging the deck for once, but I'm swapping 2 cards that are named the same, so it's not really that much different. Impulsion Beam. Well, now you've made this personal. This one, right? No. It's the other version. Fright Train's gone. So Fright Train's in cap is the hero target with the highest HP deals themselves 2 toxic damage. So if that can be Fixer, that would be great. You might want to actually set that up. Depending on how stuff goes. Defensive formation. And it now should be Fixer's highest. Fixer's highest. Fixer deals themselves 2 toxic damage, but wait, damage is dealt to all non-hero targets. Ah! Cool. Right, so here's where it gets tragic, because I can only play 1 card. But, and here's where it's actually very important. Each player cannot play more than 1 card per turn. 1 player may play 1 card now. That means that the agent is the player I target. It's different if it says play the top card of that hero's deck, because play the top card means I am saying play your card. You aren't playing your card. I'm playing your card. But 1 player may play 1 card now means you play a card. And if I'm wrong on this, I will write a letter of complaint to Handelabra Incorporated and submit it directly to Handelabra headquarters. And this doesn't play, it puts into play. Okay, so I can still do stuff. I probably want the harp, but I don't want to use this effect because I obviously can't use a power. But if I do that and I put the super tonic into play next turn, then I get HP recovery, which is probably past the point where it actually matters, but... And harp is in the deck. It is. We wanted Fixer to do that. You can do Harmony and then Bloody Knuckles or something. Actually, yeah, if you get Harmony in play now and then Fright Train says deal +1 damage, that would be amazing. Theoretically, doing Bloody Knuckles would also be amazing, but that's risky. I have to activate this, but I don't have to do a thing. And it's only if I use a power that the card gets destroyed. So that's good. Super cold trisolvent vat. Oh, that's just rude. All right, let's hit villains first. I hit Argent Adept first. Secretly, he was the villain all along. I want to hit the villains first because Fixer does redirect this one, or redirects the first one, then takes the next two. So who do we throw this hit to? Airman dies to the start of turn deal damage thing. The start of turn deal damage thing is 2, but +1. So that kills Friction and it kills Proletariat. Or sorry, it kills Airman. Yeah, and it kills Friction and it kills Proletariat. So it really could only go to Baron Blade or Impulsion Beam, and it should go to Impulsion Beam. And the rest doesn't matter. Jackhandle causes Dark Watch Mr. Fixer to instead deal damage to all non-hero targets. Thank you, Freight Train. So now, if I play a card, I get dealt 1 cold damage, except I do redirect it currently. It's the first time or whenever? It's whenever. This says put into play. This says put into play. So I could still play those. Any reason to not do double charge? If I do Bloody Knuckles, I take 3 damage from Super Cold Trisolvent Vat. Kinda would be nice to make damage dealt through Baron Blade irreducible, I guess. Just to bypass the genetically fused physique. What else is happening here? We have at the start of Friction's turn, destroy hero ongoing equipment card. Discard the top 2 cards of each hero deck, and then shuffle the hero trash with the most cards into its associated deck. And only the latter doesn't go off before Baron Blade's turn. Mistbound seems pretty good on Baron Blade as well, by the way. Can we destroy the thing? Yeah, we can cause an effect. The Super Cold Trisolvent Vat. We can also just destroy genetically fused physique instead and tank the damage for a bit, maybe. And then I don't need to make damage irreducible. Do I want to overdrive twice? Or, sorry, strike twice? I can't. Actually, I can because Impulsion Beam will be dead. I do have to destroy 2 hero cards to do that, and we're also destroying 1 with Friction, and that's a lot of things that will probably just... Yeah. Let's just do charge. Sad. And we are down to the 1. I even bother doing this. It's only 3 damage to Baron Blade. Only 3 damage. Only 3 damage. We're definitely getting rid of genetic fused physique, and then we're hoping this doesn't, like, kill us. It's probably gonna kill the other heroes, but Fixer would survive it, right? Baron Blade can't play cards. Just wondering whether, like, I don't use this power so that I can destroy something else, or just destroy one thing instead of two things. Does it matter if I have Alacritus Subdominant? I could just do Inspiring Supertonic next on Argent Adept's turn. And that'd be pretty good. Theoretically, I could dish Jank Candle at this point because it's only hitting one thing. It does counter this effect, but like... could do dual crowbars and get a +1 and maybe hit a rat with it or something. I don't know. If I do dual crowbars and then bloody knuckles, I remember I got a comment on one of my videos forever ago. I think actually it was on a Dolphin's dive. Someone that said Dolphin needs to play more strategically and not do the Jeremy style of dealing damage. And I'm pretty sure he commented on that because I had Fixer play Bloody Knuckles with dual crowbars and hit himself with it. Which means that there was a +4 damage dealt to Fixer, but then the second hit got that bonus as well. And I was like, hey, dude, like, I won the game because I did that extra damage. Okay? Like, I tried, you know, try to figure out how to do Sentinels without dealing damage and get back to me, okay? I dare you to play a game of Sentinels without ever intentionally dealing damage. It's a lot harder than you might think it is. Possible. Play Wager Master. This friction effect is trash. Fires up Gloomweaver. I think I'm fine just skipping. You know, I was told to not deal damage, so I just didn't deal damage. There, I did it. I listened to you. Alright, so now we have no idea what's on the top of Night Mist's deck. And this decision is simply to take a card. Fun fact. I mean, it can matter still. You could Vernal Sonata to draw a card. It's put a card on top and then that gets discarded instead. Oh no, Night Mist. So it's actually Expatriate that's the better damage dealer now? It's actually, no, Fixer is 4, but you have to destroy something. But Expatriate is 4 and you don't destroy something. All right, do we live? Chemical explosion. I mean, that was basically dealing the super cool Trisolvent Vat damage, right? 3, 1, 1, and 1, which is 3, except it's 3 plus 1. And actually, Fixer can't redirect it. But there's only one casualty, and it's the guy who accidentally stumbled into the chemical plant in the first place. Alright, so now we can win the game on Fixer's turn, and oh no, we accidentally won! Ah! What happened? Ah! Alright, good. We won. That was easy. Easiest one-shot ever. Can't believe how easy it was. Right, let's see. Menu, one-shot. This is the current one-shot. A Song of Time and Steel. Within the swirling and chaotic eddies of the time cataclysm, a strange pattern began to form. A prospector, panning for gold nuggets in the American River, suddenly found herself in an alien foundry surrounded by exotic machinery. A clash of bronze swords as legions battled was drowned out by the sound of an iron meteor hurtling through the atmosphere towards them. Metals past and future came together in a brilliant whirlwind centered on a mysterious figure. This one-shot requires Shattered Timelines, Mini-Pack 4, Mini-Pack 5, Void Guard, and Oblivion. Cool. We're not doing that one. Because it was just released. It's fresh. Fresh off the pages. But we are vintage here on Dolphin's Dive. Very vintage. We're doing issues that were released in June of 2017. That's nearly 5 years ago. System shock. The hero stepped cautiously through the darkened metallic corridors. The Omnitron 4 site had been dormant for some time, but the Revo Core monitoring system had detected some anomalies. Absolute Zero looked around. I thought this place was on ice, and it doesn't look any different. What gives? The group looked to Omnitron X. Minimal activity levels detected. Activating secondary scanning subroutines. Warning, foreign element detected. Composition unknown. Purpose unknown. Threat level Omega. Hawkeye grinned, in charge forward, ready to meet the enemy. This one-shot requires Mini-Pack 2, Mini-Pack 3, Shattered Timelines, and Wrath of the Cosmos. Alright, so it's Challenge Progeny versus Haka, Dark Visionary, Scholar, Freedom 6, Absolute Zero, and Omnitron X. And we are in Omnitron 4. It's the worst that can happen, I die. Haha! Battle! This will be fun! That's my secret. I always love battling. You should add a feature where the description is narrated by Logic Dolphin. Alright, so Haka has a mare, and bear with me on this, a mare, and a Taiaha. Dark Visionary has 2 cerebral hemorrhages, a foresight, and a twist the ether. Scholar, I almost said Savior. Savior has alchemical redirection, 2 keep movings, and a truth seeker. Freedom 6 Absolute Zero has 2 frostbound drains, an onboard module installation, and a thermal shockwave. And Omnitron X has an ablative coating, an electro deployment unit, a reactive plating subroutine, and a self-sabotage. Bear with me on this. Alright. So we get a Scion card put into play. The end of the villain turn, Progeny deals each hero target 2 energy damage, but if there are any hero character cards with fewer than 10 HP, Progeny flips. Challenge Ultimate Scion. Scion cards do not destroy other Scion cards upon entering play until there are 5 or more Scion cards in play. Normally it's 2. But, sorry, normally it's 3. If there are 3 or more Scion in play, destroy 1. I was thinking 2 is in, like, 2 stay in play. Do I think you could find a seed where every hero has 4 of the same card in hand? The odds. Oh, you know what would be funny? Bear with me on this. Every hero has 4 of the same card in their hand, except it's Citizen Dawn with Blood, Sweat, and Tears or whatever, and everyone has to discard their hand at the start of the game. I know this has been done before. I think that was also a one-shot. And everyone complained because it was literally the worst. How could you stack the decks like this, John? This was like back in 2016 or something, 2015. So on the flip side, Progeny deals the hero character card with the lowest HP for radiant damage, but otherwise same rules apply, unless there are no hero character cards with fewer than 10 HP. All right. Increased damage dealt by Progeny by 1. That did actually happen. Yeah, I remember that one. I think it was when you're demoing Expatriate and you intentionally brought Visionary on so that if that scenario did happen, you could use her power to give Expatriate a card. See, I'm a nerd, okay? I'm a nerd. I know a lot about Sentinel's life because I like rewatched every episode of Sentinel's life until about 2016. And then I kind of stopped when I joined the stream team. But I used to like, I don't know, idolize the show. I don't know, it's great. Good times. At the start of the villain turn, destroy 1 equipment card belonging to each character, then destroy 1 Scion card and this card. So obviously we got hit for a bunch because of all the pluses, and now any one of these equipments that we play are going to get discarded. Or destroyed, rather. Which means that we probably shouldn't play equipments except for possibly Mare, because we have 3 of them. You don't always need a 3rd Mare, but then you have it. Then you have it. So we don't have the discard Scion and we don't have the HP recovery Scion, so we can beat up Progeny willy-nilly. Twist the Ether, however, on Progeny seems like the go-to, right? Like, twist Progeny's Ether, and then damage dealt to absolute 0 can be fire or cold depending on what we need, right? Like, I've heard Progeny described as the easiest difficulty 4 villain, mainly because there's no other villain targets in the deck, so he is especially susceptible to effects that target one thing, such as being twisted ethered. Like, especially his end of turn damage is affected by this. We can now make it 1 damage to all hero targets, which keeps us alive for a lot longer. And also we have Dark Visionary here. Holy crap. So powerful. So what's happening here? Destroy 1 equipment card, then destroy a Scion, so there's no other extra plays happening. We could do another Time of Tribulations just for fun, I guess, or we could do an Elemental Outburst, which will deal 0 damage. I like 0 damage. And now we have a Time of Tribulations on the bottom. Do something I don't normally do. Actually gonna write down the cards that we put on the bottom. Just for fun, you know? Why not? Writing this down. I could probably have typed it and put it onto screen. I could also have just typed it too, but you know. I'm a weird person because I really like my handwriting, because my handwriting is awesome. And yeah, I know my camera's getting a bit freaked out now. But why would I not write things down when my handwriting looks like this, right? Okay, maybe it's not the glorious thing, and my camera's having issues focusing now because I did the thing. There we go, it's back. But why would I ever not write things down when I have handwriting like that, right? The fanciest F. Yes, it's the F that matters the most. Actually, it is. It does matter the most. We don't actually need to keep moving for, like... Ordinarily against Progeny, I would probably want to just get an early Flesh to Iron. Flesh to Iron and Alchemical Redirection. We don't care about his damage, but we already don't really care about his damage. It's currently 1. That's fine. Just do Truth Seeker. We don't need him to have his elements yet. We can just get the sustain that we need for them. I guess we do have to be mindful that damage dealt by Progeny can be made irreducible. So we do need to be mindful of that and make sure we have ongoing destruction to counter that, which we don't currently have. Omnitron X could find it someday. So equipments are getting destroyed, so we don't play onboard module unless we want it in our hand, which we could just do. It doesn't play the module, it just puts it in hand. And your base power is deal 2 damage, so yeah, you don't need like thermal shockwave this turn either. You got Horfire, nice. Let's get aggressive Absolute Zero out. And then there's no reason to do this because your base power hits progeny harder, and I mean, I guess you could play it just to have it, and then you have it. Yeah, sure. Because then once I do isothermic next turn, then we can do combos. All right. Cold Snap. Again, equipments are going to be going away, so I guess reactive plating. Yeah, actually reactive plating, especially really powerful when we can control progeny's damage, yeah. I mean, we might not necessarily be able to have Omnitron be dealt damage. We could increase it by 1 though, but anyway, yeah. Sure. Who wants a thing? I guess this is actually really powerful. We know what the top card of Progeny's deck is, and if it does turn out to be a terrible card that we can't prevent, we could just discard it, huh? But this card does have to go into play or into the trash, so like selecting Omnitron X with this, if it reveals an equipment or a component, we would normally want that in play, but we don't want that in play just yet. Visionary is probably safest, because she has no equipment. Scholar is also somewhat safe in that regard, but I like Visionary because we do know that she has a power that gives ongoing destruction. We would like to get that earlier rather than later. Omnitron X has a one-shot that does ongoing destruction, but we would have to play it immediately if we saw it anyway. Who's considered to have the lowest? Rude? Keep Visionary alive. If Visionary dies, then the stream ends. Okay. I would say Taiaha because that Techno Pursuer is the worst. Also deals extra damage to Progeny. Demoralization just hits villain targets. Foresight targets your deck. We don't want to do that. Cerebral Hemorrhage does kill the Techno Pursuer. Yeah. Progeny. Hey, look. It's another elemental outburst. This game is so easy. Also, we got rid of one of the obvious futilities. Which means we now know what the bottom 2 cards are. Double check my camera's not super screwed up now. Yep, super screwed up. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. No? I do this. Look at me. Look at me. Camera. Look at me. Usually works better if I like do this. Yeah. Force to focus on my hand and then it works better. Okay. I will not hold up my notes to the camera anymore since that gets screwed up too much. Don't worry. I don't want these things. Could just skip, right? I don't want to redirect damage to Scholar. I guess I could. But we also want Absolute Zero to be hit with fire. Damage dealt to Scholar reduced to 1 to 0 doesn't really do anything. Fall to Liquid doesn't do anything. Keep Moving plays another one of those cards, and I don't want to do those things. I will just skip again. I will hold on to my card ammo. Get out of the way! Still not worth doing Thermal Shockwave. This does equal damage, except it does 1 less damage to Absolute Zero. The point is there, that's good. What kind of damage happens here? Energy. Wait, how many cards? If at least 7 cards are discarded this way, destroy this card? Oh. Oh. Energy, lightning, energy. So if we're worried more about the environment because we can control Progeny's damage, we would want the plating that does lightning and energy. So like a Blade of Coating doesn't really do it. But if I do Electro Deployment Unit, I'm more likely to find it by drawing, so I'll do that. It's fine. I can do my own deck too, I think, at this point. I kind of wish I had that in hand though, because that would destroy Omnitron 4 stuff. I will put it in play. I will not destroy anything. I'll deal 0 damage. Yay, we did something! Hey, disrupt the flechettes. Nice. So now obvious futility is not so obviously futile. Conveyor panels are here. Elemental Outburst is here. This turn it shall be minus and reduce. Right. I mean, Enduring Intercession with Taumoko wouldn't actually be too bad for this environment, right? I mean, Internal Defense Grid does 2 energy damage. Partial Omni Drone deals 2 damage. Techno Pursuer deals damage based on the number of devices in play, or drones in play. But if damage is not dealt because of, like, the plating, then it doesn't redirect anyway. I think I set up for that. And that way I don't have to worry about, like, the environment doing terrible things. Currently we do have the conveyor panels. At the start of the environment turn, play the top card of the environment deck. Can't do anything about that. Finish the week. Nice. I think this is a demoralization. Progeny. Alright. So it seems like we do obvious futility here. Because the inevitable just gives us a random ongoing card anyway. Which it could just be another obvious futility. Actually, it can't be because that's on the bottom. Never mind. There's only 2 copies of obvious futility. We saw both of them. It could be Hour of Reckoning, so hero cards cannot be played and destroy 1 ongoing card per player. Or it could be another Time of Tribulations, except that's also on the bottom. So no, we know exactly what this is going to play. It's going to always play Hour of Reckoning. Hero cards cannot be played, and then ongoing cards get destroyed. Which is sad. Theoretically, we could discard it with Omnitron X, and then play a random card instead. Which does pose its own problems, such as, I don't know, Beginning of the End being played. Or Scion of the Storm. Scion of Frost. Scion of Flame is meh. Doesn't really do anything. But we can put an ongoing into play and destroy it on Omnitron Nexus turn with Disruptive Flechettes. It is a bit of a time gap in between. And it does mean that the -1 effect isn't going to do anything because damage dealt is irreducible. But it would only be like there's no other Scions in play. So it would only affect his end of turn damage, which is not that much. And it's more the damage reduction to himself that sucks more. But I think that's fine. And that means we now have the inevitable on the bottom. Damn. I know exactly what's there. Do I start setting up for Healy Scholar? Expect the Worst is not a good card to play when damage is irreducible. Alchemical Redirection redirects all hero damage to Scholar. Except it would still like the fire damage to happen to absolute 0. We do have a Transmuted Recovery so that if we do a Mortal Form to Energy, we can deal damage off that. Probably about time we get Scholar online, huh? Let's do the greedy. Let's get 2 Mortal Forms. And then Transmuted Recovery, which pays for the 2 Mortal Forms. But this will still deal more damage and also gives, or not more damage, deals the same damage, but also allows for card draw, which helps pay for the discards. All right, we do have cards we can discard. Since damage is going to be irreducible next turn, I think it'll be prudent to put a null point into play now. Cold Snap's not gonna work. Yeah. So we could heal Absolute 0. We do Thermal Shockwave, 1 damage to Progeny, 1 damage to himself, except he heals it, and then he deals himself 1 fire, which becomes a cold damage that could be sent to Progeny, so it'll be 2 damage to Progeny, and like 0 damage to Absolute 0, so it's actually the exact same. Alright, cool. I'm glad we entertained that idea. It was a great idea. We could also have healed Absolute 0 a little more, I guess. We can put Innervation Ray into play and then heal Scholar, and then we have 2 hits of Mortal Form, and this is the only turn where we can actually do that to great effect. And then Haka has a -1, so we heal everyone that's not Haka, and Absolute 0 is Absolute 0. He doesn't need to heal. And at this point, I guess I do the plating. If any other plating enters play, it returns to hand, and I have nothing else to use this with. Who do we want to target? Let's do Visionary. Rest the mind. Sure, you can rest the mind. There were no non-character targets in play. Uh-oh. Conveyor Panels plays Overcharged Systems. Great. Candy Accumulator. Play the top card because Overcharged Systems and Conveyor Panels. Each player may discard any number of cards. If at least 7 cards are discarded, destroy this card. It's kind of important that we destroy this card. That's what this will say. All-Star turn also happens at end of turn, which means we're getting 3 card plays per turn now. A Candy Accumulator is destroying equipment and a component, which Well, we have 2 components in play, so we can't, like, do this in an optimal way. And then Techno Pursuer is hitting Omnitron X for 2 + 1, 3 energy. Do you have component destruction now? Yes. You can destroy conveyor panels yourself. You could have destroyed conveyor panels yourself, and I didn't for some reason. Whoops. It's fine. We don't have environment destruction anywhere else. This team's bad at that, right? You only do ongoing destruction. You do environment destruction, but you haven't found that yet. So it's only Omnitron X that can destroy environment cards without having to do the pay. But we could do the pay, right? 7 cards is a lot, but I'm sure there's like 7 cards we're not playing. Scholar does have a lot of cards, but we would like to hold on to some of them for paying his stuff. But we don't need 2 mares. I don't think we're punishing the weak in this game because Progeny's never lowest. We can still keep the Enduring Intercession for that one thought I had. We don't have a mare in play. Don't really need Hawk of Shielding, but it does draw more. We can discard it for this, that's fine. Skip. Visionary. You're never using Foresight over your base power, I'm pretty sure. All those are good damage dealer cards. Helps deal with the Mechanic Accumulator and Techno Pursuer. I think we just pass on Visionary because those are good enough cards for her. Scholar. I don't expect you to need Flesh to Iron. I don't ever expect to play Solid to Liquid. Get out of the way is good. Grace Under Fires, this is like probably the one turn that will work. And we'll have to discard 1 more card now. It could just be Absolute Zero and Thermal Shockwave. Actually, wait, this destroys components, right? Yeah, okay, so conveyor panels, it gets destroyed that way. Okay. Everything's fine. I do have to destroy an equipment, but I don't have to destroy an Omnitron X component. Right. Well, the ablative coating wasn't doing much, right? I just played it because I thought I had nothing else to do, but I did have something else to do. I'd rather keep my components. I don't think I'm losing them this turn. Keep the modules. Keep the Taiaha because you don't have a duplicate. I mean, I guess like the plating would have reduced like progeny damage, but it's not going to happen this turn. I'm sure we can find another plating somewhere. Do I actually want this to be fire for this turn? Let's make this a cold, an increase. Just to mix it up a bit. You don't have a plating anymore. You could have been hit for that plating type to make it less, I guess. I'll pretend like you have it. And then you have it. All right, so interesting to note. No one has 10 or fewer. Has fewer than 10. It's fewer than 10 that matters. Not this. Okay. I'm happy to do Enduring Intercession now. Still hit you even with your obvious futility. Round pound. The plating would have reduced the irreducible damage by 2, yes, but I also had reactive plating subroutine, which is what I was meaning to reference here. So I could have dealt 2 damage of that type. That's what I was thinking. I might not have communicated that point, but that's what I was thinking. This is the same effect. What's up, Progeny? Scion of the Storm. That's definitely a discard one. Because this is going to play an extra card anyway, and we might as well just not have that extra card play because it makes this effect a lot worse. Alright. I'm getting out of the way, maybe? It's only gonna hit one. And I know this is the discard, I'm just thinking, what am I discarding here, and what am I playing? I think I don't do Alchemical Redirection, I don't do Expect the Worst. Race Under Fire is at least something. Like 2 and 2 kills the Techno Pursuer, and I don't have to worry about it. I don't have Cold Snap. I do have Thermal Shockwave. I could hit it. Okay. If I hit it, I don't have to hit it with Grace Under Fire and waste the Grace Under Fire. I'll skip. Damage to Progeny this turn is obviously futile. Hey, it's no one to turn loose. Alright. This hits each non-hero target. Sure, I accept. This hits Techno Pursuer. Does 0 to Progeny, but it does heal absolute 0. I could make this extra in order to hit Progeny for a ping, but I'll just make it a heal on absolute 0, which is a net 0, but so is basically anything. I guess the damage to Progeny would be 2 damage to absolute 0, and that's not really a net 0. Not really worth doing that, I don't think. Okay. So we're Disruptive Flechetting the obvious futility, but I can play the Electro Deployment Unit. Heal on the Chan. Healing Scholar right now actually doesn't work. It doesn't actually hit anything, so I will heal Visionary. I'll even heal Haka. You might as well draw, because you have your play phase still. Hey, a Blade of Coding came back. Yay! We did it! I could destroy Enduring Intercession. Yes! Alright, and let's reveal the top card of Progeny's deck. Oh my god, it's a Scion of the Storm! Trash. Hey, technological advancement. Good. Good, good, good. Oh no, it's the partial Omni Drone. Ha! You're hitting absolute 0. Oh, you poor thing. You poor, poor thing. Should I put him like at full HP, or is that not how you're supposed to play absolute 0? I guess I just do the fire and +1 thing and be more aggressive, because like I could be safe and put absolute 0 at max HP. I could also kill Progeny faster, which is even safer, right? Don't play with your food logic, just kill the thing that's killing you. Is it actually killing you though? Is it? The answer might surprise you. We don't have a plating here to reduce it with. What else has a reduction other than Haka, which is a global reduction? So then let's make it Psychic reduce. And let's make it Cold reduce. Let's make it Lightning reduce. Let's make it Infernal reduce. Cool. I could ground pound if I wanted, but I don't. Actually, I can't even ground pound because I don't have enough cards for it. Weird. I don't have enough cards for it. What the heck happened? What happened? Hey, Tomoko. It's a great card because I can discard for it with ground pound. Brain burn? Seems like I could get out of the way to me. And then I keep this guy alive for absolute zero to ping it, so I don't have to do Psychic Maelstrom. I'll do Mind Spec. Progeny, what are you doing? Sign of Blight, Sign of Frost. Are we blighting the island? The discard sucks, but the Frost sucks so much more. I used to think this effect was so bad. It sucks so much more though. I mean, we're basically set up, right? Discards don't matter. It's gonna be Sign of Blight. Which means there's a Scion of Frost on the bottom of the deck. So we know the bottom 5 cards of Progeny's deck and the top one as well. We're never gonna turn loose. Need to break it to you. I already have a perfectly good Truth Seeker at home. So for being challenged Progeny, there's like nothing happening that's challenged. He started the game with a Scion, he proceeded to blow that Scion up, and we've also proceeded to get rid of every subsequent Scion since. Is he even trying? Alright, I'm gonna be a bit healy this turn. Don't mind me. I guess I could put absolute zero down to less than 10 and then Progeny flips and hits Progeny and hits absolute zero for Radiant, except that's fine. I don't know. It's fine. I think we're fine. I think we've won the game. Opinion was split on easy mint and wow, Progeny is hard. Many people got, oh, don't dismiss anything due to keep moving shuffle. Yeah, so when you play keep moving, you obviously get different stuff. But I didn't play keep moving for a while, so I got different cards. So I didn't get a turn 1 don't dismiss anything because I didn't do keep moving on turn 1 because I was like, hey, let's get cards first. I have no reason to keep moving. I'm supposed to heal myself with that. I guess it doesn't matter. I can play this and I can finally get my Elemental Axa Chassis, which comes with a free Rocket Punch. Are we winning yet? Do I blow up my shit and deal 6 damage to you? We're probably winning in the next round, right? Yeah, we're winning in the next round. The Scion that he's playing is not doing anything. This is destroy components and deal 2 times 3. Yeah, so was gonna hit that because I thought that was choose for me. Because on Spirit Island, the choose for me button is over here. Alright. GG, Progeny. I probably would have won this round if I actually did do an aggressive absolute zero turn, but whatever. It's at this point that it doesn't matter what I do. Oh no! Oh. Techno Pursuer, go after Progeny. Yes! Get him! Alright. Oh no, Scion of Light! Oh no, I have to discard a card! Oh no, I accidentally hit increase. Oh no! Yeah, if I had an offensive absolute zero turn, Progeny would be dead now. You can submit your letter to the complaint department and I will review it at my earliest leisure. I will play ground pound. I will discard some no effect. Oh no! Cool. I have defeated Challenge Progeny, which is like... Challenge Progeny is so weird because sometimes it's not even challenge because he doesn't get the scions out. Of course, this was won by Dark Visionary on 2 counts. One was twisting Progeny's ether and the other was controlling Progeny's deck and preventing him from doing anything. If we had let him progress his deck the way that he wanted to, then obviously things would be different because, for instance, we would have had a Time of Tribulations again. We would have had an obvious futility earlier in the fight. We would have had the inevitable, which was the one that reveals ongoings, right? So it could have gotten something weird. We would have had a Scion of the Storm, so we would have been playing extra cards. And Scion of the Frost, except I know that was the second card from the top, so it wasn't coming into play. Also, arguably, the inevitable would have discarded Scion of the Storm and the Scion of the Frost, but... Deck manipulation is one of the things in Sentinels that separates, like, standard players and good players. Being able to control the villain deck and understanding that villain deck control is so much stronger than dealing 2 damage this turn. You know. Obviously, if you have 5 heroes that do deck control, then it's a bit, you know, overkill at that point, but yeah, that was a pretty good match. Pretty snorefest, honestly. I don't know what John was thinking in 2017 when he's making these one-shots. I guess he was getting annoyed with all the people saying that one-shots are terribly hard, so he decided to make a couple of really easy ones, and then people kept saying they were terribly hard, so then he decided to turn into Oblivion directly and made all the future one-shots terrible, which is why I don't do the current one-shots. They're all bad. No. Anyway, I think that will wrap things up for this week. It's a 2-hour stream, which feels short, honestly, considering that I've done like 4-hour mega streams lately. Well, on my channel, it's 5-hour streams. But I mean, like, 2 hours is all I'm contractually obligated to do. Plus, I streamed earlier today, plus I have to prepare for class tomorrow, plus I just don't care for this stream. I mean, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I'm kidding. But yeah, back in the olden days, Sentinels Live was a 1-hour stream. It shifted to 2 hours at about the time that I joined, because it was part of the things that Handelabra needed to do in order to be accepted as a Twitch partner, as well as having these regular streams by guests, you know, and I'm here every Monday at 7 p.m. to bring you stuff. Next week we'll do the Oblivion monthly fight You don't remember it being 1 hour? Oh, trust me, it used to be 1 hour. It might have been more like 90 minutes, but I think it was said that the intended length was 60 to 90 minutes, hour to an hour and a half. Like, we're gathered here around the digital tabletop to bring you Sentinels of the Multiverse. Streams will be about an hour to an hour and a half long. That's my Jeremy impression or something. Anyway, we'll be here next week for Oblivion. Check out Handelabra Live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Check out Luck of the Seamus Friday at 4 p.m. Check out Spirit Island Saturday at 2 p.m. And check out Tales from the Archive Sunday at 6 p.m. Handelabra products include Sentinels of the Multiverse, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, Aeon's End, and Spirit Island. They're all available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices, and One Deck Dungeon is also available on Switch if you are so inclined to switch it up. Follow us at twitch.tv/Handelabra Games or Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Follow me personally at Logic Dolphin on Twitch, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, and pretty much in any avenue. All right, have a good night, everyone. I'll see you later.